I want to ask as well, coming back on what we were talking on earlier. So you said you pretty much like your clients come in and then you pretty much like cover everything so they don't have to worry about much. Would that come down to like real estate, or would you find the rental, or would you find a third party property manager, let's say, to, rent it out?
Yeah, so it does involve, like we would project manage everything. So if we don't do it personally, then if it's, liaising with like their broker or settlement agent or property manager, we would organise and liaise like on that. But we are actually, Mackenzie's in the process of getting her license done so that we can actually manage the properties ourselves.
Oh, wow.
I love that. That's a very good perk
So that's,
to have within the business.
yeah. So eventually the goal is where everything will be done in-house. At the moment, of course, we still project manage everything. But in terms of like what we actually do, it is just the like property transaction. But soon we'll be doing the management.
Whole
too.
package.
Nice.
Whole package.
I love that. And you and Mackenzie, are you still buying properties for yourselves, or is it more just towards the clients now?
I mean, we really have, I guess, shifted now in the sense that now the focus really has become the business.
I love
Like
that.
we are, I think, I mean, we often talk about it, and I said that, what we did with building our portfolio, it got us to a certain point, like an amazing, what we achieved. But now I guess like we've evolved into, it's now I want other people to
You want to expand
to
it,
do
yeah.
that. So my reach and my growth is now I see the fulfillment in what I can help somebody else do.
Love that.
Yeah. But we just bought a like an apartment for us to live in, which, it kind of does go against what I've, been preaching and talking about. But the difference is that we've already built everything up.
Cash flow and things like that.
We've built up this, our assets and wealth and income
It's okay to go do that.
where we can now go and do that, right? And of course, the investment properties have funded that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Wow. And where was the property, the apartment that you get? Like, what area was it in?
It's in Kieren. But, this is kind of like what I was saying before about I never stop, is that we're already looking at getting another one in City Beach. So that actually would turn into being an investment property.
Yeah, and it's like what you said before with the drive as well, like the hammer, and Mackenzie being the support. I understand that it's like as being having the masculine energy and being a man, it's always this like drive, conquest, and things like
next?
that. Yeah, what's next? Yeah, taking over the world. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, for me, we talk about our goals daily. Like I am like my goals, because if I don't have a goal, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Like where am I going? Right? So I think that's why even if we achieve a target, like often, even this was back before we had the business, I would say to Mackenzie that like if we, say we get the next property, I'd say, okay, let's reward ourselves with like staying at Crown. I'll get you a Louis Vuitton handbag, whatever it is. And then we'd go out for dinner, celebrate the milestone or the success that we've had. But most people just celebrate it and then that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Give it up.
Where we would celebrate it, and then in that, time, we're saying, wwhat's next?
I love that. That's
Right?
good. Yeah.
Because otherwise, what are you going to do?
You're only celebrating the one success. There's always more to make.
That's it.
So many more. Yeah.
And that's, I think what you asked before about, what's been the foundation or what, kind of got to this point. It's repeat successful actions. Okay?
That's what got you there first.
If buying one property is good and it pays off, why would you not repeat that again and get to 10?
Yeah, I love that.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most people achieve a goal or achieve a target and then
Stop.
go to bed.
I remember hearing that from someone one day as well, a mentor that I have in his personal development and mindset and everything. He said something about if you win today, tomorrow's a new day. That win is gone. You had that win yesterday, now it's time for more wins. So it's exactly a correlation between what you just said as well, which I think is really good. It's a good
more
mindset.
growth and potential that you have.
Exactly. And that's really what, I mean, I would say to you guys and everybody is that people often say, you know, when's enough, or what is success to you? Because I'm always, like I said, I'm always going for that next thing. But the reason why is because of potential. Okay? Like if I know that I have the potential to have a $10 million business, that is my driver. Because God has like given me that ability to do that. So for me not to achieve that, I almost see as a sin. That's how I look at it.
You're a God-given gift, and I like
Right?
that perception.
You say something, you're going to do it.
My biggest motivator is potential. Like what can my mind do? What can I take my, you know, business to, my finance, you know, whatever it is, right? Because you're only bound by your own limiting beliefs on what you think you can achieve.
Yeah, that is good. And it's good that you've created that perception. And I wanted to ask you, what is success to you? Because you said about success. What is that from your point of view and perspective?
I mean, I would say that about, you know, fulfilling my full potential would be success. And I think Mackenzie, like we often talk about this, you know, being that you can have money. You could have, you know, $5 million in the bank and not be successful. Because to me, it's not just about, you know, money. It's about my relationship. It's about, am I, you know, contributing to society? Am I, you know, what is my family life like? What are my friendships like? Like, what is my health like? Like, it's not just one area. Like, it's not just money. Because, you know, you could have, you know, $10 million, but then you're going home and your relationship is a mess and you're fighting and you're arguing. Is that successful? No. So it's about having, you know, every kind of area of your life 10x, not just one. And that is what I would say, you know, makes a successful person. And I think probably that's where I've, you know, lacked is that when we started making a lot of money, then I let my physical health go. You know, because I'm focusing so much on like business and mindset and finances that then, you know, I stopped going to the gym, I stopped training. And, you know, that is not like good. You know, success is having every area like abundant.
Yeah, and that's my view on it as well. I think success as a whole is everything. It's like something I always link back to in some of our podcasts. I look at success as all these different buckets of life you have to go pour into, like, you know, financially, relationship, spiritually, you know, going to church, what are you doing, physical, all these aspects and stuff. Usually when people look at someone successful, they only have a limited mindset and they only look at financial success.
They look at the money.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like successful is everything you just labeled, 10x, every fucking thing. That is powerful.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I see it all the time because, I mean, we do go to, you know, events or parties or whatever, and, you know, somebody can have a lot of money. And this is probably why you see it with celebrities, that people can have a lot of money, but then they're, you know, depressed or they're suicidal. Why? Because I can have money, but then I'm going home and, you know, doing drugs or excessively drinking or cheating on my partner. That is not success. That is not success. I could have, you know, 5 Lamborghinis, 20 houses, $10 million in the bank, And if I'm doing those destructive things, am I successful? No.
Definitely not.
But people look to that and they think, they look at people like that and they don't see that. You know, so I was very careful that when I, chose my mentor, it wasn't just for the finances.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was his ethics around, his relationship, being monogamous. He doesn't drink. He doesn't, I still drink, but, I'm talking like excessively. You know, he doesn't do drugs. His ethics in business, and that was something I thought, oh my God, why would I not replicate what this man has done? Right?
Now it's time for you and your missus to conquer now as well, hey? They're the next duo in real estate. That'd be awesome. And another question that has popped to my mind as well as we're going is, as you've leveled up and as you've expanded and transformed and, making good cash flow in real estate and everything as well, has there been some things within yourself that you've had to learn how to restrain? Because it makes sense that sometimes when you have more money, you have more access to other things. That makes sense. It could be more woman, or it could be cheating, it could be not being monogamous, it could be maybe strip club, whatever people like to do, excessive drinking. Have you had to have a fight within yourself? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you start, making a lot of money, it can be easy for people to change, right? And I think I've always said that money will amplify the person that you are. Okay, so if you already struggle with, greed or being, envious or whatever, and you get a lot of money, that's only going to be amplified. Okay, if you are, generous and kind and have ethics, of course there is temptation, but that will be amplified. But I'd say it would be more. What we've got to restrain is, like, within the relationship of Mackenzie and I, because I think when you do get money and it's a lot, I think you can sometimes forget where you may have come from, or you're forgetting that this is not how most people live, or what most people have, which is an amazing thing. But I think, we always just try to stay as humble as we can. Of course, we're extremely proud of what we've done. I'm not saying humble in trying to introvert ourselves. But does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Absolutely. There's the filler word.
Yeah,
that's the first time
absolutely.
I just
No, I love that. Being humble and remembering where you came from is one of the main things that I want to try to do if I was to ever come into a lot of money. Just
Not if, when you come.
When I do come into a lot of money, but remembering where you came from and understanding that, you're not going to be belittling anyone else just because you made it.
Absolutely.
You're always going to be on the same page as everyone else. You're not going to be like, you're shit, I'm better than you. It's more like, you can do it if I can do it.
And that's why, even with our business, we put on really lavish events for the clients, is because I want to honor them and celebrate them for what they're doing, right? Most real estate agents, they sell your house, they're nice to you for a little bit, and then you get a $20 bottle of wine, and then you never hear from them again. So see you later, right? So every, I'd say, quarter, we bring all of the clients together, whether they've only bought, one property, 10, whatever it is, wherever they're at on their journey. Mackenzie just did one, I think, back in June. It was like a high tea at the Ritz for all of the women. And it was amazing because we've got a lot of clients that are, have gone through a divorce. They may be single women and they're investing on their own, right? And Mackenzie and I, we said we have to celebrate these women that are doing that. And then, we put on an amazing lunch, everything's paid for, beautiful florals and setup. We got all of the ladies gifts from Dior.
Yeah.
Had them all engraved with their name. So really just honoring people and treating them, but also showing them what is possible within, like, with money. Yeah. Like, you know, like, how can I say it? Like, to give them, like, Mackenzie and I have always wanted to, if we're experiencing like this lavish lifestyle, I want other people to experience it with us.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Right? There's no point, like, we haven't done this, but, you know, if you know, hired, you know, like a yacht for the weekend and then it's $100,000 yacht, but it's only you on it.
Yeah.
May as well have a crew with
Like,
you.
like what's the...
What's the point?
Where's the enjoyment, right? So, like, I think bringing other people on that, you know, journey with you, that is where it becomes fulfilling. And I think as well that's, I mean, a little bit off topic, but, you know, that kind of saying about, you know, money doesn't make you happy. It's not the money itself that makes you happy, but what you can do with it.
It's a tool, isn't it?
It's a tool.
I always say that to everyone. Like, they will say, "Oh, money's not going to make you happy," but me on a jet ski in the middle of the ocean is going to make me happy.
It does.
You know,
it does.
It's what you can do with the money. Support your family, give back to your parents, or give back to your siblings, cousins, friends. You know, that's what's going to make you happy, and you need money to do that.
And this is why, like, what you guys are doing with this podcast about, like that contrarian thinking, is that people are just conditioned and brought up with these like cute sayings and like cute ideas about, you know, whether it's real estate or investing or, you know, being in a job or whatever it is. And it's about like challenging that, you know, because so many people, you know, say money doesn't make you happy. Well, it does.
It does, yeah.
It makes, you know, if that is and that kind of goes back to what I said about, you know, success before. If all you have is money, then of course you're not successful and you're not going to be fulfilled. But for us, because we work on our mindset, we work on our relationship, we work on, you know, those other areas in our life, when we then go and enjoy money, of course we love it. We're like, it's an amazing thing because of the experiences that we can do. Even I think it was around this time last year we booked out like the Crystal Villa at Crown, and we put on this like extremely lavish dinner for our like bridal party and their partners, and it was like phenomenal. Like, but I think we spent about I think it was around $30,000 just on a dinner, but we paid for our like bridal party to stay. We covered everything. We had entertainment. It was only for, you know, I think 10 of us, 8 guests. But for Mackenzie and I, that is so fulfilling because it's not the money that's made you happy, but what we are doing with it. Yeah. You know, the experiences that you can have, what you can do for other people. Right,
that would never forget either.
Yeah,
it's proper freedom.
Definitely,
isn't it? Definitely. To do the cash flow for that as well. I think that's so fulfilling. And yeah, I wanted to jump into a bit of a controversial question as well. Obviously, people have fallacies. It's good, isn't it? So technically, people have fallacies and false beliefs about things as well. What do you think are some of those fallacies and false beliefs people have? I know that you mentioned something before about negative gearing and things like that, and having a lot of money to invest. Is there any more? And if you could touch base into some of them.
Yeah. So definitely the main thing that is like pushed on people is negative gearing.
What is negative gearing?
So negative gearing is where if you were to invest in a property, but what the rent and the income that you get from the tenant doesn't pay for the mortgage and the expenses. So that would be considered negatively geared. Makes sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
So basically you're investing something that is then, it's going to cost you to like, you know, maintain the property, okay? So why people go down this path, and this is like what is pushed on most of society, is because that, you know, the portion that is negatively geared, it then can reduce your taxes, okay?
Yeah.
Tracking? Now, this is what like when we started, this is kind of what also made me question is that like when I was listening to like all of the, you know, cute sayings and I guess the average investors and, you know, what they're telling you to do, you know, it's all about like constricting, reduce your tax, save money, you know, don't go and buy the coffee. You've heard all of this kind of thing, right? Like, you know, don't get the Netflix and then save for the deposit. And same with the negative gearing. It's like, how far can you reduce your expenses to? You can only go so low. You can only reduce your tax. So, you know, there's a limit to what you know, unless you don't want to live or eat or do anything, you're going to have to spend, right? So I questioned it and said, well, there's a limit to what I can reduce and constrict, but on the flip side of that, what can I grow my income to? What can I grow it to?
What do you mean with the negative gearing itself?
What can I grow my cash flow and my income? It's limitless.
If you're not doing it, yeah.
Right? Where negative gearing, it's you're buying something to intentionally lose money.
Yeah, I gotcha. So you wouldn't be able to go too far with that at all.
No.
To be honest. Yeah.
No. Like if I went out and bought a property and say, like in like an easy way to explain it, if say the mortgage was $2,000 a month, okay, but I'm only getting $1,000 a month in rent, okay, it's now going to cost me to hold that property. Yeah. But this is what most people think is a good thing. They think they go out and buy. I mean, to you guys, it sounds crazy, right? Yeah, but you're going out to buy something that is losing money.
Essentially out of your pocket now.
Out of your pocket. Why would you want to go and do that?
And where do you reckon this perception has come from? Because negative gearing must have come from someone. Has there been like a specific person that started the whole trend or the whole, you know, that word out of nowhere? The government, yeah, trick people into continuing to make them poor.
Yeah, I mean, you do save on your taxes. They do get a tax break on that, you know, what they lose, but you're still losing money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still costing you.
Then it's even harder to make money.
It's harder. It's harder.
It reminds me of something else as well, what we're talking about with negative gearing. Could be government, could be a few other people, but also how people think that, you know what I mean? Lost my train of thought for a second. But yeah, so technically what I was about to say, yeah, so the negative gearing and everything, obviously that's a false perception, but also people thinking that being rich makes you unhappy. I think that's been a big psyop, a psychological operation to completely make people think that rich people are unhappy and they're depressed. Yeah. Maybe there might be the odd couple and stuff, but majority of them are doing a lot of big things. They have, you know, they have families, they're providing and protecting. You have a loving and amazing, you know, woman and everything as well, and you're doing amazing things. Yeah. So it's crazy how people have been so tricked and so manipulated into having this type of perception.
And like another one would be, which is similar to that, is, you know, money is the root of all evil. Which is a similar thing about, you know, money doesn't make you happy, because if you buy into that lie, and if I believe that, you know, money is unhappiness or money is evil, okay, then why would I now go and try and make money or to earn money? Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So people believe these lies, and it's what stops them from doing anything, right? Because, you know, most people don't want to be evil. So if I believe that money is evil or it's the root of evil, why would I'm going to stop myself from creating
it's like a
creating money
thing
from pulling in money.
You're literally manifesting like the wrong things, like
where attention goes, energy flows.
And people quote that in the Bible. It's not, you know, money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil.
The greed.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But people misquote that.
They really think that's what I think a lot of Christians believe nowadays as well, that going out to be big or making a lot of money and stuff is a bad thing. But what you just said, it's literally just a misconception. And they just need to change the perception it's about who you are and what you do with the money once again.
Absolutely. So many like Christians. I mean, I've seen your videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
I wouldn't say I'm a Christian now. I was baptized. So.
Okay.
more Catholic, but I never went to church.
Okay.
I've still got a pretty interesting view on religion as well,
Yeah.
as a whole, but it's a big topic to go
But
into.
I've seen some of your guys' videos
Go to
on
church, yeah.
online, and so many Christians out there think that we are meant to be poor, right? Like that it's a sin to be wealthy. They quote all of this thing about like you've got to carry your cross, and it's like you've got to live in lack, and Jesus didn't have this or that, and like what I always say to them is that God commands us to give, to be generous, to tithe, to sow. Okay, if you don't have anything, how effective can you be in helping other people?
Exactly.
Right? So that's what goes back to my point before, is that, money will amplify, who you are. So if you are, generous and giving, when you then get money, that's only going to be amplified.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Makes sense? Yeah. But, it's not just Christians. Most people have poverty thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Buddhas and things like that, a lot of different religions, give all your money away technically. Yeah, and like you said, you need money to be able to give. Like it says in the Bible, to be generous, you can't do that from a place of lack.
We're not, I believe, and it's not really even a belief, it is just a fact, that we were not created to be in lack. Right? Like I was not born to just be barely getting by. Just to be in like struggling and everything is difficult. Like God did not create us to live like that. But it's, because people just buy into that lie and then accept that.
100%. Or people are just so content with their own life, living paycheck to paycheck, just getting by. They don't want to try the new things.
Do you have any friends like that, Johnny?
Oh, 100%. I think we all do.
Yeah.
We all have the mates that's just content and comfortable. Nothing against them, but like they are living their best lives in their own world.
Yeah.
Or we just think a bit
Bigger,
more out of the box.
Absolutely. Yeah. Power of association is such an important thing. It's like that guy, pretty sure it's John C. Maxwell. Do you know John C. Maxwell? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And I think association is the most important thing, especially when it comes to your fiancé and stuff. You guys have done this as a power couple. I think, to go far, you can do that by yourself, but to go all the way and stuff that you do that with the team. Right?
Yes.
And it's such an important thing.
Absolutely. Like you cannot build an empire on your own. Definitely not. There is not one successful company that is built with one person. Right? Amazon, Tesla, like the biggest corporations in the world are not a solo person.
That's why I don't believe in self-made. When people say I'm self-made, there's always been someone that's been there to help out, mentors
Definitely.
or, fiancé in your case, and people that's been there to support each other as a team, which is, such an important thing. Hey,
It would be nearly impossible, otherwise they'd just be run down to the ground.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think, even for us, I mean, like people have said to us, you guys are like self-made, and I correct them in the same way that it's not, because if it's just you and you think you've done everything on your own, you haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Even the one thing I think is a fallacy as well is independence and stuff. I think you can feel the aspect of being independent, or independence, but you can never be independent because someone still relies on someone to pay the bills, or like a boss to pay you your pay rate or your check and stuff. So I think that I don't even believe in when people say I'm independent. You can experience some aspects of feeling it, but you can never actually be independent as a whole, because there's a lot of things you have to rely upon.
1,000%. And that really is, I mean, that's, another like woke ideology that, most people have today about being, I want independence. I want, I'm an independent woman or man or whoever. And like with Mackenzie and I mean, I am completely dependent on her. She is completely dependent on me. We are completely dependent on God. Right? Like if I, like that, like to be, even in the Bible, like we were not created to be alone. It says man was not, it's not good that man is alone, which is why Eve was created. Yeah. Right? but people don't like that in today's society. You know, they think that it's a negative thing. Of course, if you're in like a destructive or the wrong relationship, absolutely. Of course, you know, that is a bad thing. But in like the case of Mackenzie and I, like I said before, I could not do what I do without her. She could not do, some of the things she does without me. We are dependent, we're one. You know, and that's the way in my belief is that what makes us so powerful.
And I really love that, how you guys lean into each other and what you just labeled as well, about leaning into God as well. And I think that's what have made you guys, what you just said, very successful. And I think that's such a powerful thing, because I do really think that a lot of people, because of, perceptions and maybe the independent thing and stuff as well, there's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, but they can't really come into that proper agreement straight away because of the views they have, the perspective they have, because they're following society and what the world thinks. There's a good quote in the Bible: don't conform to the realities of the world, but be ye transformed.
By the renewing of your mind.
Yes, absolutely. And that also links into the agreement of being, transformed. And also I think doing that with the union of a loved one or someone, you have that masculine and feminine energy, which is, wow.
And definitely, I mean, even that, that verse alone, I mean, everything really comes out of the mind. You can only go to where your mind will take you. You can't go anywhere else, right? So if I sit here and believe that, okay, I can't, buy my first investment, I can't get out of a job, I can't, whatever it is, you're not going to do it.
Exactly.
So the first thing that needs to change is the mind. The mind is, have you guys seen that movie Lucy?
Ooh, is that the one where she takes the drugs?
Yeah, with the Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And, she takes that drug, and then her mind becomes this like powerful thing. And then it's like she becomes like a superhero. But we are actually like that, and most of us are not even using, the full capacity of our mind.
Only 10% or something.
10%. 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
The mind
great.
is a very powerful thing. And you literally just said, you have to use it to be able to move forward or level up.
This is why I like a philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, and he has something called a quote that goes like this: the quality of your life is the quality of your thoughts. I just love that one. I always go back to that every single day. So it's good to keep that, that good fortitude and that good process of thoughts, and being able to believe that you can become who you need to become whenever you want to, because you're already that person anyways. It's literally a decision away. It's about that consistency and that momentum that you create for yourself and the positioning you do for you to be successful.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Because, the beliefs that you have, so it starts in the mind, right? After it's in the mind, it then becomes, you're going to speak it, becomes word. Then it turns into action. And action is what ultimately will get you to that end point.
Wow. Yeah. Reality, hey, that's a good one. It goes in that type of order. Yeah.
You have to work on your mind. You have to. Because, like I said, you cannot go where your mind will not take you, right? I pay someone about $5,000 a month for a mindset coach, and all she does with me is work on my mind. Because I need to be thinking bigger. I need to keep my mind, strong. I need to keep my mind intact. I need to be, when things in the outside world and, people or haters and whatever comes at you, unless you're careful, you can come in agreement with that, and believe those, negative things or, whatever's been done or said about you. So I need that support in my life, right? And she's amazing, my mindset coach, Susanna, because I'll often tell her my goals. You should tell me they're not big enough.
Oh, I love that.
Because she knows my mind and my ability is so much bigger than what I even think, right? And you need people like that in your life, because I know that when we were starting, and we still get it now, is that if either of you guys, said to, family, friends that, I'm going to build the biggest, business, or I'm going to become, I'm going to be worth $100 million one day, or whatever it is, whatever your goals are, then 9 times out of 10, the people around you are going to say, yeah, right.
That's why you shouldn't conform to the reality here in their point
Yeah,
of view.
right. Like, they'll put you down. The amount of times we got told, like, slow down, take it easy. Who do you think you are? Like, scoffing at what our goals were. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you need people that can lift you up.
That's why association is such an important thing. Hey?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That is very powerful what you just labeled just said. Yeah. So would you say that mindset played a big part and a big role into your success today? Do you reckon that's really, really important to you? And I know that you got a mindset coach. How long have you had your mindset coach for now as well, if you don't mind me asking?
I've been working with her, I think, for about 4 to 5 months. So this year, I just found that I was, getting content, because, of course, I am human, So I do have, thoughts sometimes where I'm like, when's enough? Or, it would be so much easier to just, Mackenzie and I relax on a beach and, we don't have to do this. And, it kind of got to a point in the business where it was like I just hit, even revenue-wise, I was doing the same, like, each month. And then as soon as I worked with Susanna, everything just picked up.
Opened your mind a bit more.
Because you have to believe that you can achieve it. Otherwise, you can't.
Yeah. What about you, Johnny? Do you have any mindset coaches, or do you really heavily rely on mindset in your life as well?
Yeah. Sorry. I do. But I try to like teach myself, pretty much go over in my own mind and tell myself like these things that I want to hear, not what anyone else wants to hear.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think mindset in my life as well is such an important thing. Every single day I think about, success, trying to manifest it, just looking at it, visualizing it, seeing the I am that I am. I think it's such an important thing. Hey, mindset, I need to get more into mindset as well. I do have a friend, not really paying too much of the service right now, but he does help me as well because we're best friends technically. So we do have a call every 2 weeks and stuff. He technically does it free of charge because obviously we're good friends and we go over some stuff, which is cool, just based around the perceptions and programming and how to deprogram the conditionings we have as well. And there's a guy we had on our podcast as well called Austin. He's a good friend of ours, and he had a quote that he said the unconditioned mind is a mind that can see its own conditioning. And I think as you continue to work on your personal development and mindset and uncondition yourself, you start to pick up on the cues and those perceptions that you have that you need to deconstruct, so you can deconstruct new perceptions that are going to like align with like what your goal is and what your truest vision is. Hey,
definitely. And something you said before about being in the future, that you already are that person or that being, right? And that's part of mindset is that I find that I think a lot of people live from the past, as in, what you are acting out or doing today is a result of, what you've gone through or, trauma, and it's all past focus. This happened to me or that happened or whatever it is. But for me, it's about living from the future as if I am, if my goal is to have a $10 million business, okay, in 3 years' time. In the future, I already am that person, right? So if you live from the future, it's now about just pulling that forward into the now.
Wow.
Right? Where most people are just living from the past, right?
And that gets them nowhere because they're just thinking about the past and not
Correct.
actually thinking about their future and what pathway they need to take to get there.
Yeah. And definitely, it is, doing things like, the affirmations, the manifesting, the visualizing. Of course, I do all of that. But when you live from the future and like if I say to myself, okay, I am this $10 million man, okay, and I'm wanting to bring that forward into the now, That's when you then start saying, well, how would that version of me, or how would me in the future, how would they act? What would the actions they'd be taking today? How would they be running their business? Who do they need to connect with to get to that point? What would they be doing differently on sales calls or marketing or whatever it is, right? And it's reverse engineering the steps to then become that person.
Wow, yeah, I absolutely agree with that as well. I think that's really potent, especially when it comes to your mindset. I mean, that version manifesting is good, but also it's about the action that you follow behind it. And what you just labeled just then, being able to replicate that person in the future, that $10 million man, what is he doing now? What actions is he taking? I'm literally going to do what that man would be doing right now. I'm going to be acting like that man because you already are that man. Yeah,
definitely.
Wow, powerful.
And, same, in the Bible, it says, faith without works is dead, meaning that the belief, the faith to do it without corresponding action is obsolete. It's nothing. Nothing's going to happen. If I just sat here and visualized $10 million fall, it's not going to fall out of the sky. I could just sit here for, 3 years visualizing and, blinking away.
Yeah.
It's not going to fall out of the sky.
And a lot of people have that type of mindset.
They think that.
Let me just say some
They think
affirmations and it's going to come without the action. Good things come to those who wait. I don't really like that. I sort of think good things come to those who take action. Yeah.
Yes.
Raw action, that's all it is. Hey.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I wanted to jump in. Do you have any success stories that you could explain to us? Clients and stuff, like what was the journey like? And if you have like one person name or whatever it is, if you could jump into that, it's at your discretion. But
Yeah,
if that's
of course.
possible.
I mean, I'd say across the board, I'd say probably at least 90% of our clients, they all would be, buying their at least third, most of them are on their fourth property. Okay. After working with us for less than a year. Because we have the strategy that we do, the goal is that as soon as we buy one, we're already focused on the next one. But specifics, I would say one that comes to mind is a client, Julie. There's some videos on my social media about her, but we actually used to work together in the fitness industry. Okay, so we had the same job, the same pay. And she talks openly about this, that, the reason why she started with me is because she knew where I'd come from. We'd been in the same job, the same position, and now she's looking at, me going oh my God, how are they now there? So that's kind of what got her interested. And she'd gone through a divorce, a separation from her marriage, and she's in, she's a bit, she's got older kids and that, so she's almost starting again. And we bought her first property back in, I think it settled around June, July. We've already got her second one under contract. We're working on a third. But even her, originally when we spoke, she thought even to buy three, that it was going to take 3 years, if not more, to do that. And then even the other week, I was laughing because she was emailing me saying, oh, I think I need to increase my goal. So now we're going for 10 by the end of next year. So it's so amazing from going through, the divorce and going through, heartache and things like that. And then, just the possibilities, that's, I find amazing. And I think as well, so many clients, I think most people don't know what's actually possible. That's the biggest thing. They think that, investing is only for the rich, or you need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start. And they, like I said before, people are looking at us buying property after property thinking, how can they afford to do that? So most people think like that, but it's, I say to clients all the time that it's so much easier than what people think. It's so much easier. I mean, even another client, they're a couple, they just got engaged and they actually came over to our place last week, and originally when we spoke on, like we had that initial call, they said, "Oh, I don't even think we're able to move forward now. You know, like they're not even able to get a property." And I said to them, "Oh, absolutely, you guys can. You know, there's going to be no issue." But they, you know, had they not have come to me, they would never have moved forward because they just thought they couldn't, right? And then originally the goal was to get like four properties by the end of next year. And then when they were coming over, they're saying, "Oh, I think now we need to increase our goal to 10." Because it's happening too quick. You know, they're just getting, you know, one after the other, like in such a short amount of time that now they're going, "Oh my God," you know? So it is an amazing thing to see people that I guess, you know, thought they couldn't do what we've done or couldn't have, you know, that success. And now they're coming to me going, "Oh my God, we need to do more," you know?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine how it makes you feel as well, showing people what their possibilities are.
Definitely. I mean, I said to them even when they came to our place, I said that, you know, most people are in a much better position than they think. It's just they don't know where to start. They don't know where to begin, where to invest. And that's obviously why we, you know, have the business, is to help them to do that.
Well, shout out to them, to Julie. Is it Julie?
Yeah, Julie.
And all the other clients that you have, shout out to them as well.
Luke and Mary.
It's a good touch.
Daniel.
Oh yeah, Daniel. Yes.
All of them.
Yeah, Daniel Frost. Shout out to Daniel Frost.
Yeah.
So I wanted to jump into another question, Kieren. So what are the prices of your services? So let's just say I've got a deposit, I've got some money, I want to come to you for your services. What are the prices at your discretion?
Yeah, so it's a fixed fee of 16K plus GST. If like anyone did want to move forward, then they pay 50% upfront, so 8K plus GST to get the process, you know, going, kick everything off, and then the remaining 8 is only due or paid once we actually secure the property. So at the moment, because of the way the market is, I'd say it's around like a 3 to 4 month process in terms of, you know, sourcing, analyzing, vetting everything, you know, doing all the due diligence, settlement. You know, buying property is not like buying, you know, shares where you can just go online and, you know, find, you know, buy and trade, you know, straight away. It's obviously, you know, it's a lot longer process. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. I might have to come to you very shortly then.
Yes.
yeah, sounds good. And do you have any big goals for the future? What are your big goals? The goals that you have for the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, definitely would be to get the business doing $10 million in revenue per year. In terms of the business goal, that's definitely the main one. In terms of like personal goals, like I said, we just bought that apartment in Kieren. We paid about $1.5 million for it, and then we're already, like I said, I find it hard not to have another goal. So now we're already focused on getting hopefully a penthouse in City Beach. So that's like our personal goals.
Lovely.
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely now, like kind of what you asked before about, you know, you're still investing. I think now, because we've gotten to that, like this point, we're kind of buying real estate now for us, you know, which is what I advocate to the clients, is do the investing first and then you can do whatever else after that. You know, so that's kind of why we're now, you know, buying that apartment in Kieren. We're going to buy one in City Beach. And of course, like with the business, the goal really is that I want to see as many people across Australia succeed in property. Yep. That is like my life mission now, Mackenzie and ours, is to, you know, because even like those clients, like all of them are doing, you know, so well, all of our clients. But, you know, the ones like Julie, Luke and Mary, Daniel, everybody, they, when they are winning, I feel like I'm winning. you know, even more. Like I feel like I'm almost buying the property, because to me it's more fulfilling to see them succeed and win than to us, you know, having it. Of course, I still love it, you know, when we're doing well, of course, but seeing other people do well is the most rewarding thing, you know, for me.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing.
And when you're coming into like a business, especially investment, that's the type of person that you want to work with. Like for me, for example, you're the type of person I'd look for investing in, because you're not just chasing the money, you're not just chasing the fame or the name or anything. You're actually chasing the feeling you get when these clients are being rewarded with your work.
1,000%. And that's like why, like even like why we do like events, and you know, it's not like we don't do them just to be like put on like a show or whatever, you know, like, but it's like I would say to people, like, you know, you're going to these real estate agents or investment companies or whatever. Once you buy that property, you never hear from them again.
Yep, exactly.
Unless you're going to go back and, you know, sell your property with them. That's it. You get your $20 bottle of wine from Coles, and then it's see you later. You know?
Exactly.
That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and something, even, you know, part of the reason why we started the business was that, like, when we were starting, I viewed successful people as really, like, closed off. Like, they were almost, like, untouchable. Like, you know, almost in the Wizard of Oz, how there's, like, the wizards behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And they're, like, behind this, you know, thing, and, like, you know, I couldn't find out what they knew, or, like, you know, who they knew, or whatever it was. So I think, you know, part of the reason why we started Parata Property was that we wanted to be an open book. Yep. You know, like we wanted to say, this is what we've done to get to this point, and then let me show you how to do the same and replicate it. You know, because I always said it, you know, potential clients, that there are many ways you can make money in real estate. Many. Yep. But I can only show you the way that we've done.
Thank you for sharing. Do you have any more questions as well, Johnny? Or?
No, I just wanted to ask if you've obviously given a lot of good advice throughout this whole episode, but if you could just say in a couple short words to the audience, a few encouraging words or something, you know, if they ever wanted to start investing in something, like just some words that they'd like to hear.
Some words of encouragement.
Yeah,
I'd say, you know, believe in your own power. You know, we have so much, you know, we've spoken about the mind. Of course, my faith is in God, and I believe that we were created with, you know, in his image with, you know, godlike ability. But even if you don't, you know, subscribe to that, you know, you have so much potential within you. You know, so just, even if you just start, you know, believing in that and potentially what you can do, I think if you just start with, you know, self-belief, your mind will eventually figure out, you know, the way to get there, you know, put you in the right, you know, path with the right people, or, you know, meeting the right person. Yeah.
No, I love that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we appreciate
thanks
you
for
coming
coming
on.
on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Our absolute pleasure. Yeah, nice.
I love that.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in to Beyond Boundaries once again. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure that if you have any notes and stuff while you watch this, make sure you write notes and you check in, right? If you want Kieren's details, I'm going to be putting his details in the description below. Going to put in his email, his Facebook, his Instagram, everything that you need if you want to start investing with the fine young man himself, man that's doing a lot of good things within the real estate business. And yeah, make sure if you haven't yet, go like, subscribe, go comment, go show some love, and thank you very much.